Welcome to House of Cards. This is a video podcast hosted by Cardinal Points, the independent student-run newspaper of SUNY Plattsburgh. The podcast is hopefully focusing on the more personal side of athletes, kind of bringing them from the court or field or ice to you. Today, I'm joined by my guest host, Makai Bruce and Sasha Vidrini.
Yeah. Hi, what's up, everybody? We're here with Sheriff Conteh, Willard and Myles Jones, my teammates. So I wanted to start. Can I start over the first question? I really love this question. All right. So, what is our team inside joke? Which one would you guys say is our team inside joke?
Oh, welcome back.
Why is that? What is that?
Welcome back is just say if you missed a couple of practices due to injury or school reasons or whatever. That first day back when you come into practice is, welcome back, such and such.
Yeah, I came up with that question because Sasha was telling me he and some guys were out one night, and he's cool with the Pizza Bono's owner, and he said goodbye to him like this. He was getting harassed all night. Speaking of food spots, though, what are your favorite food spots at SUNY Plattsburgh, whether it's on campus or off?
Down there probably because it's always open.
Down there, bro, really?
I like that joint.
Nothing. You don't go to Zook's or.
I've been to Zook's one time. It was kind of decent. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It was kind of mid. Respectfully.
Shout out my guy Island Vibes, my guy Char Wayne. Jamaican food is good. Jamaican food it's by Bono's. It's on the same block.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What are your favorite? What's your go-to pregame meal? What do you eat before a game?
Halal food from Downer. Goated.
Chipotle. Just because I've been eating it forever, so I'm just kind of used to it.
Go to Clinton.
Nah, you can't do that. You can't say that.
You don't get the runs during the game.
Lynn coming clutch. Shout out Lynn, y'all.
Yeah, no, Lynn.
Y'all don't know
We love
Lynn.
Lynn.
That's my go. That's my go.
Yeah, I love Lynn.
Do you have any pregame superstition or ritual that you kind of, or maybe a routine you like to follow before, right before a game?
I don't. I mean, I really just kind of I'm big off vibes. So depending on how I'm feeling, I could be feeling super happy that day, or if I'm feeling pretty upset, then I'll meditate, kind of get myself in a better mood. So it really just depends on the vibe for me.
Me, I gotta joke around, cause I be nervous. Before every game, I'm nervous until I touch the ball. So I gotta joke around. If you don't catch me joking around, I might have a terrible game.
I could agree. I like to listen to music before the games, to kind of get me pumped up, and I like to take me eating breakfast and lunch more serious on game days. So it's I'm not going to the games hungry or anything.
I have one thing to say about Reek, though. I remember one time, beginning this year, he told me his pregame ritual was saying his favorite song before the game to get himself in that mode. And I thought that was one of the coolest things. So I was man, that really can get you in your mode for real.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'll be singing that on the court too.
So what would y'all say is y'all favorite way to celebrate a win? Let's say y'all just won a game. What y'all doing after the game?
Will, I think Will knows it.
So for me, getting sauce, I'm going outside, just to I get a drink or two, enjoy it with the teammates a little bit. Nothing too serious, but just I like going outside, listening to music, catch a vibe.
What about you, Reef?
Me, game day one. Yeah, I'm more with the guys, Will said. I like to just celebrate that day, and then just move on to next.
So Reef, before you were saying. Oh wait, actually, did you wanna say?
Yeah, no, you can ask the question to Reef. I'll say mine after.
No, you can go. You can go.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say for me, I kind of like to go out with the guys a little bit. I'll go out at first, kind of see what the vibes are. But I'm just a tired individual, bro. I be getting tired quick, so I'm just man, I'm about to go back to the crib, either hop on 2K, watch Netflix with my joint, I'll FaceTime my girl or whatever. So that's kind of what it looks like for me.
All right, Reef, you were talking about music before,
Yeah.
right? So who's your favorite and who's your least favorite artist?
I feel like questions like that I can't really answer. But like right now, I say like I'm in between like I got 3 people. You guys may or may not know. So there's No Cap. He also goes by like the Back End Child, Lil Herb, G Herbo, and I also like Lil Papa. A lot of people know him, a lot of people don't. But those are my 3 right there. So, yeah.
All right, bet.
And then my least favorite, sheesh, probably like Lil Pump or something.
This is straight.
You, Will? What about you?
Me, I listen to a lot of the homies. So like, my friends are my favorite artists, like Young Fabi, Hoodstar Jack. Y'all check them out. I'm not gonna lie. And those are my favorite artists. And like for least favorite, anybody that's not the homies.
All right.
That's love. I respect
Sorry.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm from the DMV, so for me, it's probably like No Savage. You got your Cutifuls. Probably Cutifuls, probably my favorite. And then least favorite, probably like Doja Cat, bro.
Damn.
So-
she be on that.
We talked 2K. Who was your basketball idol growing up, and what would you say your archetype is in 2K? If you made yourself in 2K, what's your archetype?
Are you starting off with me?
Yeah.
Idol growing up, LeBron James. Like he's the GOAT. Like we see what he's doing now. And player type in 2K, say like a two-way like scorer. Yeah, we could leave it right there. Two-way scorer. Yeah.
Me, I ain't gonna lie, like, my favorite player growing up, even though I never watched him, but I just watched a lot of film on him, Magic Johnson. Like, he a true point, and he a winner, like, and, like, my build, I don't even know, like, like, I wouldn't even know my build. I just,
You got your own bill.
that's my
I think for me, I didn't really have like a role model, like somebody I really looked up to. I mean, I was a big fan of like Tracy McGrady, other guys like that. But once I got to high school, like you start playing AAU, and like my high school coach, as you know, is like partially owns Team Loaded. So for me, like Dennis Smith Jr. was like that guy to me, cause like you're at every single tournament together. Like I'm watching him play, and it's like whoa, it was just like he was kind of like the first celebrity basketball player that I was around. So for me, that was like for sure like a role model to me. In terms of my 2K archetype, I say I'm like a 3-and-D, but like in 2K you can do a lot more than that. Like you can handle that joint. You might have like 80 ball handling or something like that. So I play defense and I can shoot the 3. So I think 3-and-D for sure.
Yeah, so you talked about Dennis Smith Jr. I got the chance to talk to. I'm doing a piece on Myles right now. Check that out. Issue 3 is going to come out. To talk about his life and his journey through basketball. All right, my plug's over. I talked to Coach Lemke and I talked to your brother, and they talked a lot about your AAU tournaments and how you would defend guys like Anthony Edwards and
Right.
SGA and Keldon Johnson. I do have a mixtape, Myles Jones Down in the Rim.
Oh.
I don't know if you were a sheriff or Willard, but you want to grab this real quick. In the first couple seconds of this, you can see him score on Anthony Edwards. He shows up, he's wearing blue and orange. He's like number 13 or whatever.
What's crazy about this mix though is, so that was at the Under Armour tournament actually, and we had a really good tournament. Our 17s was there, and I was on the 16U team, but our 17s, they were doing really well, and we had made it to the Final Four of the Under Armour tournament as an unsponsored team because we were unsponsored for 16s. So like we were kind of under the radar. We beat like 5 or 6 Under Armour teams. I mean, all Under Armour teams got high major kids going different places. During that tournament, I was averaging like 24, and one of the kids on my team, his name is Quadis. He plays at Georgetown now. We had John Calipari at one of our games, and like I remember like vividly about that tournament. As soon as we seen John Calipari on the sideline, everybody starts jacking. Like, everybody's trying to go for, like, 30. It was so funny. But, yeah, the crazy thing about that game, though, is just, like, we had lost in the Final Four to Team Felton. Their best player, Ellis, he plays at Louisville now. He's their best player. And it was, like, a heartbreaking loss. We were up, like 12 with, like, 4 minutes left to go. And just, like, they went zone, and we just couldn't make a shot, and they started hitting everything. And then the next day, they put us at Willard High School, which is where Jaylen Brown went, a whole bunch of players went. But that's the high school that I'm playing in there. And, yeah, I had, like, 31 that game, 33, some shit like that.
Yeah, so that leads into my question. What is the toughest player in your career the toughest player to defend, and what's the best defender you've ever faced up against?
Okay, so I can do a couple.
Go ahead.
So there's a kid named Jalen Llewellyn. He plays at Michigan. He actually had, like, torn his ACL this year. He played 4 years at Princeton, and then he spent his 5th year at Michigan. He was a starting guard before he tore his ACL. So crafty. Amazing shot maker. But so crafty with the basketball. So crafty. So I always say him because, like, there was one game I'd held him to, like, 4 points in, like, our semifinals of our conference. And then, like, literally the next game we played them in, like, semifinals of state, we were up by, like, 20 with, like, a couple of minutes left. He rattles off, like 14, 15 in a row, bro. Like, it was nothing I could really do with him. I can't lie. So him, this kid named Nassim Gaskin, he ended up playing at Utah. And then, I mean, you can look him up. He had some stuff happen in his life. And then, I mean, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Like, the players that I find are the best are the players that are really good with their hands on the offense. Like, Shea is, like, really good at swiping and, like, just, like, the intricacies of basketball. He was really tough to stay in front of. He only had, like, 12 points in our game, but you could kind of tell, like, I played him when he was committed to Florida, and not a lot of people even know, like, he was committed to Florida. Like, so definitely Shea, and then, I mean, Keldon and I had our little battles or whatever, Conteh, all those guys. But, I mean, I played Keldon so much, and, like, I wouldn't really say, we'll move on. Yeah. He's in the league, though, Keldon Johnson. Shout out Keldon Johnson.
Yeah. So what about y'all two? Who was y'all toughest matchup, y'all think?
I'm gonna let him go.
Well, toughest matchup, I'm not gonna lie. My freshman year, I came into high school. It's like this guy back home. Like he went like D1 JUCO. A lot of stuff happened. So like, you feel me? He back at home working and stuff. But like, Percy Bryant might be the toughest guard I ever played against ever. Like, every practice I gotta come in checking him. Is like he just made me like way better. Kind of made me the player I am today. Like he really made me a dog. Like, yo, you feel me? Toughen up. But it got to be him. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
For me, I would say like one of my teammates I played with like my post grad year down at I'll say Lutheran in the Bronx. I'll say my teammate Booby, Kamisago. Like, he has a similar game to like Shea Gilgeous. Like, well, I compare it to him. Like, it's kind of like slow to fast, like more like pace. So it's like that was something like I couldn't really stay in front of after a while. But once you play with somebody for so long, and then you get to know their moves and stuff, it's like, yo, I'm doing a better job, but he was still doing what he had to do. So
I kind of left some dudes out, though. I'm sorry.
You got more to say? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So Darius McGee, one of my high school teammates. I mean, just an unbelievable shooter. He averages 21 this year, averaged 24 last year at the Division I level. I mean, just an unbelievable scorer. Like, he's just an unbelievable shot maker. Like, he had like 35 versus Oak Hill. He had 48 versus Florida Gulf Coast in college. He's had multiple 40-point games. I think he's had like 4 or 5. He scored over 2,500 points at the Division I level. So, yeah, definitely him. And then Sadar Calhoun. He plays at Drake University right now. It's a mid-major. Just doesn't miss a mid-range. Like, he had gone like 48 for 49 for mid-range our senior year. Like, that's a stat. Like, you can look that up. Yeah, he was unbelievable. And then also Tyrese Halliburton, for sure. That's
just throw him in at the
Tyrese.
end. Oh, sorry, just throw him in at the end.
Tyrese is wow.
Also Tyrese, by the way.
Yeah. So I've known you guys for a year, right? But it feels like 5 years. I mean, with Will, it feels like 10 years. But So we've had a lot of memories right together. Which one would you guys say is like your favorite memory, and which one would be like your worst memory?
I'm gonna go first. My favorite memory was Sasha Oswego. I'm not gonna go into details. I'm just saying Oswego is my best memory with Sasha.
That was a crazy weekend.
And then like my worst, he be doing some fry stuff a little bit sometimes, and like he be trying to get me like caught, and like I really can't go into detail.
I don't do it on purpose though.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't do it
I
on
don't
purpose, but like, you know, sometimes he just say stuff that he shouldn't. But that's my dog. Oswego, best trip. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say there was like any like least favorite moments, but like me and Sasha is like I was seeing him and like from like the intro is like joking around like a joke, yo, how you been? Oh, yo, you shouldn't have been doing this and all this other stuff. So one of our best memories I could say is on one of the trips, we were roommates and it's like we were cool before, but like just like that trip alone and just speaking and just kind of like picking his brain and seeing where his head is at and just getting to know more, I would say that was like one of the best memories.
Yeah, and your boy, fuck with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out golf, man.
For me, I'd say probably Fredonia. Obviously, you had an amazing game that game, but just kind of seeing you excel and kind of break out of your shell a little bit, I felt like that was rewarding for me. I had a couple assists to you during that time too. So
Yeah.
I felt like you were really killing out there. Least favorite, I don't know. I really don't have a least favorite. I think it's been all positive.
Yeah,
around me.
same for me.
So we gotta stop making Sasha's head so big, right? So what's your favorite basketball memory, like your entire life? You know, going back to like Pee Wee ball days. What do you think back on, and what will you think back on? You know, once you're retired.
My favorite basketball memory, well, I have two. One was like the first one, was like when I first dunked in the game, and it was during like AU season, and we were in Atlantic City, and this was like my 10th grade summer going into like my junior year, and basically we were getting punched by like 20 points by a team from like Philadelphia. So I had the ball on the fast break, got a rebound, started dribbling up the court, and I seen that was like my opportunity to dunk. So as I went up to dunk, the person on the other team, he jumped with me, but I didn't know what was gonna happen, so I just dunked the ball. And as soon as I fell on the floor, I didn't even know like what I did at the moment, but as soon as I hit the floor, everybody's like, oh, going crazy, and we losing by 20. And I'm just looking at the kid like my adrenaline. I just get up and look at the kid like, yo, I just dunked on you.
You had to do suicide after for dunking.
Me? Nah, the
Dunking.
coach is
video?
excited.
20 under?
The coach
You got it
is
on video?
excited.
You got it on video?
For me, nah, I wish. But I swear if they recorded that, like, that would be my intro to everything. But second moment, I would say, like, my senior year of high school, winning, like, the city championship. I played with a couple of good players, and we beat Cole Anthony and Moses Brown, that's in the league right now. They went to Malloy High School. So, yeah, we beat them in the championship, I believe by 1 or 2 points. But that was, like, me getting the ring and being able to, like, travel to go to Federation. So that was good.
Wow.
Me, I gotta say, winning states my senior year, it was like, yo, we just like you feel me, made it like for the school, for the community, like so that was big for like my basketball career, and like it like gave me a lot of confidence. But winning states, that gotta be like my favorite like memory.
For me, I say winning states my junior year. 2016 team, they had lost states the year before. So 2017, like all of our coaches were on us, bro, every single day to win that joint. So like 2016, we had lost basically to this team called VES. They had a kid named Sasha Kalia Jones, ended up playing in Kentucky, and they had a bunch of other players that didn't pan out. But yeah, like literally to lose in the state championship game and then to spin back in 2017 and to win that joint, we won by 36, by the way. That was like a dream come true, and I had like lost my mother that year, so it meant like a lot for me to win that joint. So it was on Slam, Ball is Life, all those things. So.
Sheriff, you're in business administration. Willard, you're in music management, and you got English. What are some of your what's your favorite class on campus, and what's your least favorite class to go to?
Ooh, I can answer this. We're gonna start with least favorite. Least favorite, I hate accounting. Hopefully one day I make enough money to hire an accountant. 'Cause I hate it. I hate accounting. My favorite subject, I would say like the econ classes I had to take because that's more me. Also, the class that I liked was supply chains management. Surprisingly, at first I found it kind of like difficult, but then like I got a hang of it. Shout out to Dr. Cho. Like he's a great teacher, so he made me like grow the love for the subject and stuff. So.
Least favorite, math. Anything math. Like I got nothing against none of the teachers, but like math not me. Like so that's my least favorite. I feel like if I know how to count money, I'm good. But and then my favorite gotta be like Music 305. Professor Ward. I'm showing you out right now. But like we do a lot of stuff with like making beats, making songs, or just making pieces. So it's like I enjoy that, like, cause that's what I'm looking to get into, looking to produce and stuff. So that's my favorite.
That's lit.
Least favorite, I say Utopias and Lit. No one even knows what that is. Like, it's
Nah, yo, you could tell us what it is, bro.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Utopia is like the ideal world that you want to live in.
Oh,
Dystopia
I get it.
is
okay.
the opposite of that.
What is it,
So
class
they
around?
study.
And then you have to
So it's
read-
about utopias represented in literature. Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, literature.
How many are there?
There's a lot actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
but I'm not the biggest fan of that.
Okay.
I wouldn't be either.
Favorite class, I would say African American Lit. I felt like it was probably the best thing I could have learned the first semester, just like learning more about myself and where we come from. There was just so many things that I learned. Like I didn't know we were brought over as indentured servants, so like we weren't even supposed to really be slaves for like an extended period of time. Like all those different things, like you learn in that class. Like I really appreciate it for sure.
What's some of your favorite things to do on off days if you don't have practice or a game?
A day like that, probably sleep.
Yeah.
Until I can't sleep anymore. Wake up, blast music, and like take care of things around the house. Get my homework done, and like I'm a big YouTube guy. Like I just go on YouTube and whatever's trending, I just start watching it.
I'll study all.
Yeah. Oh, study hard now.
Me, it gotta be like I sleep, get up, like finish what I gotta do real quick. Like if I got work or something, finish that, play the game, then I'm outside. I'm not gonna lie. I like to you feel me? Like to chill, party, hang. So on my off days, I'm outside, regardless the day.
For me, it's probably like playing 2K Pro Am. I love the 2K
yeah.
Pro Am. Like last season, we finished like 38th, so we're doing pretty solid on there. So for me, probably 2K Pro Am for sure. All day. I literally just came from that joint.
Yeah. I haven't really played this much this year, but yeah, I know how the pro am gets, bro. That's when the true feelings come up. The true feelings.
I never played it. How does it work?
Oh, so I played
Yeah.
3-on-3.
Okay.
So me and my brothers like playing or whatever, and we would like run like a little like zone on defense. I'll be on one side, like the left side, my
Alright,
brother in
and
the
they be
middle,
on
my
the-
little brother on the right side, and then we just rotate from there, bro. We be clapping, get hella steals, alley oops, all that.
I think I hopped on Pro Am back in 2K18 and I played one game. I had like a D- teammate grade. I got called a burger and I got off. So I've just been doing park since. I'm not. It's too serious. Too serious. Yeah. What's something that you're about to go, like you said, outside? You go outside. You go to work. What's something you don't leave the house without? It's not like wallet or keys or something. What don't you leave the house without?
I can't leave my house without my AirPods. I feel like it's something else. Like other than like my wallet, keys, like I had to have like my 3 set of IDs, which is like my card, my ID, and my school card, like stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah, me, it gotta be like chapstick.
Yo, and chopstick. That's right.
I don't leave without chapstick and
Shout out Plastic.
and my ski mask. You feel me? You never know. Always gotta keep a ski mask on you.
For me, phone, keys, wallet is always mandatory. It's mando. Like, I lost my wallet one time when I was like 16, bro. My coach was clowning on me. He was like, you gotta say phone, keys, wallet every time you leave the crib. So ever since then, phone, keys, wallet is like ingrained in my head.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what is one thing that like your teammates do not know about you? Like, I don't know, Ree, if you can start. Actually, not Will. I want you to start, Will.
Yo, for me, the homies don't know I'm a big Kesha fan. So like,
I did know that, but
yeah, like
I'm like the
Kesha,
only one.
like one of my favorite artists outside of like the bros. Kesha get it done. You feel me? Like if I've been planning to go to a Kesha concert. She stopped music for a little bit, but like.
Yeah, yo, she having me.
Hey, you're
I can't tell if you're
tight.
joking right now.
He's
No, I'm
dead
so
serious. He's dead
serious.
serious. Dead
I'm
serious.
so serious.
I
Like yo,
wouldn't
if
know.
I go to my archive,
Yo,
like
when she
my
comes to
archive
retro-
post, I'm telling you, bro. I
Kesha's
used to
on
post Kesha all the time,
When
bro.
she's on retro, bro. Different.
They don't know, but like I'm telling, like
We lit.
it's such a fact right now. I'm not lying, yo. Kesha.
He said, I hear your heartbeat to the
Beat
beat of the drum.
Yo,
It's hard.
You, Miles? What about you?
For me, I can sing. Like, I can actually sing.
Oh,
Like, I
for
know a
real?
lot of people say, like, they can sing.
Not like
Like-
peripheral.
Actually.
like
I
more,
bet.
more like
I'm
Victor
not gonna-
Oladipo singing, like singing.
No, like, I can, like, America's Got Talent, like, sing
I bet.
thoroughly well.
We could
I'm
we pull up
super
some
talented.
karaoke
Yeah,
or
can we-
something.
can we- can we do like-
I'm
you do it right
super
now?
talented, but I'm not gonna sing on here. That's Champ. I'm for the DMV. You be saying Champ, but like that's whack type.
You ever record yourself singing? Or?
Yeah, like I used to
Yeah?
be a soloist, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
seriously.
serious.
Is there anything you could like provide to get so we could play a clip?
I have a song out there. Well, I have a couple songs out
Do
there.
you?
You can't find them. You know, I'm not gonna tell
I know.
you. I'm
I
not
know
gonna tell you the
Reef.
name. You could even.
I know Reef got one.
I'm not
Nah,
gonna play
what-
it. There's some joints
Nah,
on
cut that
YouTube.
out. Cut that.
I don't know if they'll pop up though.
Me, I mean, I don't know. I guess you could say like I have an ear for music, like, and I know a good song. Like when I hear it, like I know something that can like entertain the vibe for the meantime. Like I don't know. I guess that's a talent.
All right, so because we're at a D3 level, you know, you've been at D2, but you know, obviously there's not as much publicity as you go to like D1, and
Right.
to students at D3, you know, you're just a player and you're like their classmate. You know, you got somebody in your class, you're like, oh shit, you know, that's Will, that's Myles, whatever.
Right.
You know, you don't really get to kind of see you guys at a personal level, like I was saying to you. Like at a D1 school like Kentucky or Duke, you know, you got post game conferences and you always got cameras on you. You know, like you remember when Zion was at school and all those snaps of him were coming out and he's talking to this girl. You know, yeah, what you here? But like a more personal side of you guys is gonna be coming out here. What's something that you wish people knew about you? Like fans that come to games, they just see you play. You know, what do you wish they knew?
I started off me, like I'm just super passionate, like especially like for the game of basketball, like in the moment, everything. So it's like I don't know, somebody like outside looking in, like you might see me like, oh yeah, this guy like he looks like he's doing a little bit too much, but that's just me like getting everybody like fired up, getting myself fired up and stuff. So yeah.
I just like, I don't like wish they knew, but like, I wish they just like, I don't know. I feel like how hard I go for like the sport. Like I don't think they understand like everything I've been through, what I put in, and like I'm never just hooping for myself. Like it's always a bigger picture. Like you feel me? I got loved ones like that passed away. Like I'm out there hooping for them. So like if they could just, I'm not trying to go out there and make mistakes or do anything. Like so if they could just see that and be like, alright, you feel me? Like I feel like I wish they knew that. Like yo, he really go hard like because he been through stuff.
I think for me, like these guys next to me, we all have a story. But I feel like for me, I think what was different about this year than any other year I've played basketball was like I really did like whatever it would take to win. Like whether it be playing defense or making the right pass or whatever it really took. And I think in years past, like prior, like obviously I played with good players or whatever, and I play with great players here. I just think like I wasn't called to do as much because we had like guys that would do a lot as well. So like this year, like bro, I might have had like 5 or 6 games this year where I even shot above 10 shots, and it's like you might see my talent level and be like, okay, well he should shoot the ball even more or whatever the case may be. But I felt like getting the best shot was the right play, and I think like this year, like I did like literally whatever it would take to win. Like the game we lost to New Paltz, like there was a time where like there was like a loose ball on the floor. I could have just ran to the ball and picked it up, but I dove for it and tossed it to somebody. We ended up getting a layup out of that play, or like
Tested me.
right.
Yeah.
So it's just like I felt like I was willing to just do whatever it took to win.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
All right, so this question is for Sheriff. So Sheriff, your first year, we only had 2 wins. So, what was it like to come into a team like that?
It was tough. I want to say like COVID played like a big role in that, but as a competitor and stuff, like I wouldn't like to use excuses, but that's one I'll put up there. So just playing last year and just going through like what we went through like through the season, only winning 2 games, just kind of gave me like more passion and like more will to come into this season and like give it my all and like expecting a lot from my teammates and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, so you're all transfer students. You could have transferred anywhere. You know, why'd you land on Plattsburgh? Why, like, you know, was it coaches recruiting, or was it location? Definitely not location. It's really cold outside right now.
That's true.
Why'd you land on Plattsburgh? Why are you here?
Me, because Mike Blaine, like he knew me when I was younger, like when he was in Buffalo. So like when I was, because I dropped out of school for 2 years. So when I'm like searching for schools, emailing mad schools, none hit me back. I look on my gram, I'm like, oh, I got Coach Blaine on the gram. So I emailed him. He like, yo, no need to introduce. I know what's up. He pulled up to my crib like the next week, like in the middle of their season, like pulled up like, yo, what's up? What we doing? I'm like, shit, I'm pulling up. I'm gonna pull up. I feel like I can help your program, and I feel like he can help me, like academically, and like help me finish school. So that's why I pulled up.
Yeah, for me, I think it was a multitude of reasons. I feel like for me, when I reached the end of my season last year, I wasn't able to graduate from my school, so I like was kind of looking for like a new place to play, just to like be able to graduate kind of like on time for real. So Plattsburgh was one of those schools that allowed me to do that. And then also my high school coach being like, you should go to Plattsburgh State. His word is law to me. So like it's like that was like what it is. And then also I have a cousin that's doing life like an hour away as well. So being able to like go see him on a weekend was like kind of attractive to me. And then also my family is from Syracuse originally, so like being 4 hours away from that, it was kind of like a culmination of all those different things. Being 4 hours away from my grandfather, my cousins, like all of those different things.
For me, I would say Coach Al. That was the coach that recruited me to my last school, and he left my freshman year. So my sophomore year, I stayed at the same school, and then my junior year, I decided to come to Plattsburgh with him because like we kind of talked and stuff. And he basically like told me like, yo, I didn't get to coach you how I wanted to, so come to Plattsburgh and let's see what we could do. And that was the plan.
So, Reef, like you're the vet here. In this room, you're the person who stayed the longest on a team. So how is it for you being the leader and bringing that leadership on the team? Is it difficult? Was it a difficult task or not? Or not really?
It wasn't difficult at all because me being one of the oldest, like I had like Myles, Eric, just them being around and them voicing their opinions while I'm doing the same was just everything because the way I would say one thing, they could have said the same thing in a different way, and somebody else could have got understood more. So
Yeah.
So Will and Myles, it was both y'all first year. So what would y'all say it was like becoming a member of this team?
I loved it. I loved it so much. I feel like this team, like a lot of us are really similar in a lot of different aspects. Like not even just with basketball, just like how we operate as people. So I just enjoyed my experience so much.
Yeah, I rock with it. Like I came in, and I feel like we all really could play like well, and we sacrificed a lot too. So like we had our bumps and stuff, but like we have yet to really play our best ball like together. So like it really hard like seeing these two leave because like hey, if we could just spin it back one time. But
Yeah. Like if you guys could say one more year, like next year is gonna
It'll
be
be
crazy.
scary.
This is gonna be crazy.
But no, I enjoyed it. I didn't know what to expect. It took me some time like to get in the flow, like back to playing basketball. But like I rocked with it. It was good.
All right, so yeah, so I talked to Coach Blaine. I did the interview for your piece, and we talked about last year's team, 2 wins. And I was writing Cardinal Points articles for that, and I actually drove all the way down to New Paltz to cover that game. And the headline was like, Cardinals break loss record, and then the next week, they break their own loss record. So I talked to him about last year's team, and he was like, he felt like that was a bunch of guys that, hadn't really been used to playing college basketball. We got no 4-year guys on this team. I think Eric's been here the longest, right? 3 years?
Yeah.
That's crazy. A lot of you guys only been here a year or two. So, how do you feel this team has improved, like, maturity-wise and experience-wise, in just from that summer?
I feel like when you're losing, like, and no matter what you're doing, it could be basketball, life, whatever it is. Like when you're at your lowest, like you figure out yourself more, you learn yourself more, and I feel like that was the case with us. Like everybody was young. Like most of the people that was on the team were basically like incoming freshmen and stuff, and the people that were sophomores, they were considered freshmen on the court too. So them just coming in and playing against guys that fought hard in the playoff last year and like went to the chip and stuff was kind of like a big thing. So I just felt like just losing, like having a losing season last year and just coming into this year, just knowing like, all right, yo, we lost, we have nothing to lose, like we're the underdog, so we're gonna give everybody everything we can. Like it was easy to just do that because it came from nothing. We really didn't do much. So, yeah.
Yeah, you, Will and Myles, coming in this team, it's your first year here, but you're automatically one of the older guys. So you're kind of like a freshman, but you're already a junior and a senior.
Right.
You're kind of thrust in that leadership role. How'd you take it?
I feel like for me, I didn't really know how it was gonna fit in with the team. I knew I would kind of have like a leadership role, but I felt like I couldn't be as vocal right away because I'm new. And with basketball, it brings a lot of competition. So you might be viewed as like, oh, this guy came, like he was recruited to be here to play over. Like, all those different things are kind of like, especially because we have a young team. So that's kind of like the mentality that I'm usually like approached with or received with. But I felt like I did a good job of leading by example, whether it be like getting in the gym, just like saying things here and there, giving little tips and tricks from like the time that I've played basketball. So I think I did a decent job for sure.
Me, like being older, I'm really not too like vocal. Like I don't know how to I know how to lead, like talking to people, but that's not really me. Like I lead by example. So like knowing my game, like I could easily come in, put up 10 plus shots, score 20 plus a game, but like I really was sacrificing. I feel like it was a domino effect. They seeing me like, oh, he making an extra pass, he giving it up early, like pushing it on a fast break, diving on the floor, playing defense, and I feel like everybody just picked up off of that. So like I feel like I led by like me just playing hard and wanting to win.
what do you guys think is our biggest strength and our biggest weakness on our team?
Biggest strengths. Biggest strengths, I would say we had a lot of freedom to really do the things that we wanted to do on the court. And I think with like the players that we have on our team, like we need less structure. Like we need to be able to kind of do whatever we kind of want on the court, because that's just the guys that we have on our team. Like we have a lot of talented players on our team that don't necessarily fit well within a system. Like they need to kind of be able to rock out a little bit. I think towards the end of the season, we started getting really good at defending. Like we became one of the better defensive teams in the conference. So we started turning guys over. But I would just say over the course of the season, we got better at defending. We got better at just making the right basketball plays. And that's what it really takes to win. Like making the extra pass, diving for loose balls, everyone rebounding, not leaking out as much. All those different things led to us kind of turning it around.
I feel like our strength was like us being able to fight. Like we would fight every game. It was games we was down like 15, fight back, make it like a 2-point game, even get the lead. So like our fight like would have to be like one of our strengths. And like our weakness, I feel like, was like the domino effect. I don't know. I feel like, all right, so if one person get tight or like down about something, it was a domino effect. Now he feeling like he got to do this, and it was just like, that would just, like, you feel me, knock all the cards over. But like, we still fought though. Like our fight really like overpowered our weakness. So like, I rocked with it though.
Yeah, I agree with Myles and Will. I would say our strength is being able to like adjust in time, and then our weakness, I would just say like dealing with adversity at times too. It's like push and pull. So yeah.
Back on that domino effect, I think that derives from trust. Like you got to have trust in your teammates, and I think in a year's time, it's kind of hard to really develop that trust. So I think that's kind of where our weakness came from. Guys not really trusting each other.
Yeah, like, I would stamp that.
Yeah, that's a fact.
We talked about a couple different games this year. Looking back, what was your favorite game to play in? Or favorite road trip? Any kind of favorite game or favorite road trip? It's not us, we go. So.
Favorite road trip, I'm gonna lie. Oswego. Me and Sasha.
That had to be the best one though.
Yeah,
by
like,
far.
me and Sasha really lived it up. Like, but that's one of them. Like, my other one had to be like Buffalo because I'm from Buffalo. So like playing in front of all the homies, all of my family, like it was lit. They brought the energy. You could tell. It felt like we was the home crowd.
Yeah, it did. It did. Yeah.
Best game, best trip memory. I'll say all of them would be my best, only because it was like my last year. So I was like cherishing like every day and every moment. Best game, I want to say like all the games like we fought out to the end and won. So that's like with the SUNY Cobble skill and like much more other games. Like there's a lot of things going through my head right now, but just like the games where we executed at the end, I would say. Yeah.
Favorite game, I would say probably the first game of the season. I don't remember who we played, but I felt like we had a lot of people there. Like the energy was lit.
That's a fact.
Like
Who was it?
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, Clarkson.
It was a great
enjoyed
game.
That
It was a
game.
great
That was a
game.
fun game, and we won too. And then what was the other question?
It was more so like one in the one whole thing.
Yeah, like a
you know,
favorite moment.
Yeah.
Oh, just favorite.
game,
Like a
just
road
favorite
trip.
game.
Oh, road trip. Yeah. Road trip.
We've had amazing road trips, though, I have to say. Like they've
Y'all
all
boys
been-
have had
they've all
amazing.
been, like,
I mean,
incredible.
I be in a room reading books, bro. So I mean, I really just kind of cool with it. So I don't really
That's
have
the
one.
answer for your girlfriend.
Yeah. No, oh God.
Don't do that.
Like I didn't even, like there was one game we had versus like Genesee or something like that. I had a pretty decent game or whatever, and like I mean, I just went back to I went downstairs and like got like a hot chocolate, bro, and just went back up to my room. Like I just was like cooling like the whole year. So for me, all the road trips were kind of the same.
Nice.
Yeah, like the bus rides. I would say the bus rides is the fun.
Oh,
Nah.
Especially going back
yeah.
home.
Okay, so I guess
Nah,
that
for
counts.
you guys.
Yeah.
You guys have your own seat. I don't. I'm with Kush. I'm with
I sit
Kush.
in the back of the
Big
bus.
ass mouth.
Nah, there was one time we were on the road and we were coming back from somewhere and them boys was in the back going crazy, like talking about, someone
Coach
the coaching
Arnold.
staff. Yeah. Arnold. Shout out Darren from DC Action.
Who do you think is the most fun on road trips, or if you got like a
Matt.
favorite moment, like on the bus, or
Yo, Matt,
favorite,
Matt is
B.
hilarious.
Matt or
B.
Kev. Matt or Kev.
This guy.
Matt is hilarious. Matt is so funny. So I say Matt.
Matt. Who else?
AJ.
Like I be having my
AJ.
moments.
AJ's pretty funny.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm a funny guy.
Yeah, nah.
Reef.
Right.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Now, Reef is top 10. Like, if we going through something, we go through Reef. Like, we need an extra seat. We need, like, somebody to, like, yo, that's going to talk to them in a manner, but get it done. It's Reef. Like, because he going to be like, yo, we
If
need
I'm lying,
this.
I'm
like,
lying.
we not going for nothing else. But
Yeah.
he say it in a nice manner. Like,
I like to keep it a buck.
Yeah, so we talked about, kind of disappointing because you think the team would be better next year. You guys gotta leave. What's it like to hand the program back to the younger guys and really put trust in them that they're gonna do good things?
Like, I'm pretty like confident in them, like especially next year, because it's like the guys that's going to be on the team and like it's like Will, Sasha, and like the other people that were here. I feel like they've been through like the trenches, like all the hard work that has been like we went through that already. So now it's like going into the new season, their mindset will be different from like freshman year, sophomore year, or, like the last 2 years that passed. So,
I feel like for me, I feel like guys learned how to win this year.
yeah.
I felt like coming in, like, respectfully to all the guys here, I just didn't feel like this was a winning culture. I didn't feel like guys really understood what it really took to win a basketball game. Like, I remember we had a kid on our team earlier this year who had quit. And I think part of the reason he had quit is, like, I had, like, after one of our practices, I had put my chair in front of him and I was just kind of telling him, like, some of the shots he was shooting were bad shots and we're not going to be able to win any games if he's playing like that. And I think that was kind of tough for him to handle. But kind of getting those types of kinks out early was, like, big for us. And, just shot selection was key for us to kind of, like, turn it around.
I remember Sasha told me a story about how he played New Paltz, and was it New Paltz? And there's all these different guys from different countries, and they're talking trash to you in different
That's
languages.
Fredonia.
Yeah, Fredonia. He's gonna trash talk to him in different languages. Do you guys like? Do you talk like that in the court? Is there somebody in the SUNY you don't like in particular? Or?
yo, it's crazy for me. I don't really talk stuff. Like, I just play, and, like, I'm real physical. So, like, if you say something to me, like, I'm gonna catch you. Like, you feel me? Like, I'm gonna give you a nice foul or something. But, like, it's one person I talked to, and that was the guy with the cast. Like, we played them at their home, and, like, I guess he, like, because our scouting report was on him. So,
He's
like,
talking about Oniana, right? You're talking about Oniana.
Oniana. Yo, our scouting report was about him. So, like, I check him for, like, 3 plays, get 2 blocks and a steal. I'm like, yo, this kid sucks. Like, you feel me? Yo, he's like, what? I'm like, yo, you heard me? Like you're terrible. And then he's like, yo, your scouting report is about me. And I'm like, nah, I don't even know you. But he was telling the truth. Like, the scouting report was about him.
He's like, you know my body.
Yeah, he kept saying that. You know my body.
I was talking to Roddy, and he's talking about, like 3 times he said, you're the best, Myles the best defender in the country. He's talking about different guys in the SUNY, and he talked about was it the Cortland guy that wins Player of the Year and out?
Or whatever.
And he talked about Mekhi Beckett and how you, like the first game he went off, and the second game you had him like 0 for 10, like 0 for 11, something like that. Again, is there somebody that, maybe you or Sheriff watch out for in the SUNY? Like you got something personal with?
Nah, I think with the Grunder thing, like, I feel like as a guard, it's a lot easier to stay in front of a guy that's like 6'6", especially when they don't have like Grunder's. He's more like he's better like back to the basket or one dribble pull up, and I'm good at defending like the ball. So like making him just catch it like further from the basket. Like I'm a guard, I should be able to stay in front of him. And then Beckett,
Is nobody do?
I wasn't a big fan of his game. I think he's definitely good though. Like I've seen him against like other teams. I think he's a good player, but I think like I really just like I sit on everything. So like if you're gonna make one move and go, like you probably have a better chance of like scoring on me. But if you're gonna like just sit here and tween, like I'm just gonna sit literally on everything. So you're probably not gonna score. Yeah. So there was one player in particular that I was not a big fan of. I think his number was like number 1 on Oniata. I don't know his name.
Oh, was he?
He's
describe
weird,
him.
bro. You're weird,
No,
bro. I can't lie.
he wasn't the guy with the
Yeah,
his hair tied up like that.
yeah, he's weird. He's weird.
I think I know him, bro.
He's weird, bro.
I think I played.
Who is he?
I played ball when I was in middle school.
He's super weird. Like he just.
What do you mean by
he just
weird?
constantly talks like.
I think
like,
being friendly.
like you won't even be talking to him. Like there was one time I think like I was checking back into the game like for maybe Reef or something like that.
He's just
I was like,
talking
yo,
to
Reef, I
himself.
got you. He was like, yeah, Reef, like he's got you. Like it's just like little stuff like that. It's like he's constantly talking. Like bro, there was one time like last time we played him, bro. I'm guarding him in the corner.
Right here?
Yeah, here, like senior day. I'm guarding him in the corner. And he's like, yo, bro, you don't even got to worry about guarding me. Like the play's not even for me. Bro, like, why are you even talking to me right now?
Shut up.
You're talking about Caleb
Like,
Brown?
Yeah, he's weird. He's really weird.
Nah.
Oh, yeah.
he's
One
weird.
person.
Yeah, he talked to me too
I
when
got
I
a
was on
problem
for
with
no
it.
reason.
Yeah, he's weird.
One
Why
person
would he
to
say
me like I got a problem with, like, it's not even like a bad problem. It's just like, bro, you doing too much. Number 1 from Potsdam, bro.
Oh, yeah.
He set so many charges. Like I could have fouled out off of him alone. Like he's down there every time, like just posted. I'm like, nah, this kid got it. Like he's gifted with setting charges, bro.
Who you're on the bus or you're in practice? Who's most likely to get the aux?
I already know who probably.
Like Kev,
Yeah.
Kev, Just,
Darren.
Just.
or Darren.
yeah,
Darren. I would say Darren.
Darren,
Just-
D
Just.
Slime. Come on, D Slime.
Yeah, D Slime or Justin. Like,
Yeah.
I would just say just because, like, anytime we're, like, warming up in the hallway or, like, before the game in the locker room, it's usually just playing the music.
So, this is one question. I already know the answer probably, but who is the most likely one like to get into a fight?
Yo, probably me, bro.
Reed. Yeah, like it's
Yeah,
Reed.
probably me.
Yo,
Yo.
can you give us like some stories?
I'm gonna give one story about Reed, bro. And it was the last game, senior day, yo. So the alarm go off. You feel we had to go to the ACC. Yo, it was one of our guys like that we know, you feel we cool with.
Oh, yeah.
He just kept talking to Reef. Reef like, yo, I'm not gonna lie, like I don't want to black on you. Just stop talking to me. But like he did nothing wrong. It's just Reef know how to control himself. And, like he gonna let you know, like yo, I'm at a breaking point. Like stop talking to me.
Yo, Reef, what is the thing that pisses you? Like, what is the thing that pisses you off the most?
Yo,
Are you
a lot
good?
of things.
Are you
Like,
good?
when it comes to basketball, I'm more of a principles guy. So, in the sense, like, if you put the work in and it shows, and like you talk your shit, excuse my language, but like, all right, I'm gonna see the competitive side, like the competitiveness out of the situation. But if you're just talking just to talk and you're not really doing anything, you're just like trolling and stuff, like that kind of pisses me off, and like I'm gonna have something to say. So
I think just with Reef, he's just, like, real. Like, he says
He's
some
100%
things that,
real.
like, we're all thinking, but he's, like, willing to say it, you know? And I think that's just a testament to his character, and I think we're like that in, like, a lot of different ways.
I talked to Jalen for your interview, and he said Jalen Pitts, men's basketball team. He said you're most likely to break up a fight. Who do you think really calms down those situations most?
I wouldn't even agree with that.
You wouldn't?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be me in the fight. I can't lie, but I mean, I probably would be one of the guys to calm it down, especially like if I'm not in it, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, I probably would say
I
myself.
feel like
yeah, I was about to say him.
Yeah, I feel like me. Like I really like to de-escalate situations because I know where it could get, and I know where like nobody really want to take it. So like,
Nah, that's a fact.
we all could be level-headed.
say
bro,
that.
so, yeah.
Nah, Sasha too though.
Yeah, Sasha
It's
too.
been times like I've been like mad at practice or in the game, and he would just come and make a joke, and I'm looking at him like, yo, not right now, but like this shit funny as hell. So yeah, for sure.
This one time you got pissed at me.
Yeah, I'm
You were so mad at Coach Blaine, and I was like, "Yo, you good, Reef. You
Oh
good,
yeah, Reef hates
He
when you
blacked
tell him
out.
you're
He's
good.
like, "Do
like,
not
'cause
say that
when
to
he's
me."
good, like he's actually good. But like when you say, "Yo,
Yeah.
you
Are you
good?" He be like,
I'm the
Yeah,
same
I
know
way,
I'm
I
good.
don't
bro.
know. I can't be the only one that feels
I'm
like
the same way, bro. That
it's
joint
like-
makes it way worse. Like when
Yeah.
somebody asks you if you good.
Like, yo, if I'm
worse.
mad and I'm chilling, like, I'm counting my breaths or whatever you want to call it, and somebody's like, yo, you need to calm down. Like, right now, I'm counting my breaths, so you telling me I need to calm down. I must be looking crazy. So,
The only reason I
That's
would
the only
say
reason
like
why.
I would be hesitant to say like I break it up is because like I come from like where like if you're fighting like bro, I'm letting you rock.
Yeah, that's-
Like unless it's like you know what I'm saying like unless you're just getting dogged for real. So
Yeah.
like I'm not. Majority of the time I'm letting that joint rock, bro, until somebody's getting dogged and then I'll break it up.
Nah, me,
But like if it's
I'm
like one of my
breaking it up.
teammates and they're like out, like say somebody's getting jumped or whatever, I mean I gotta rumble too. So it's-
Me, I know like it's time and place for everything. So like, if we on the court, like in the middle of practice, no, break it up. Like we like you could do this in the locker room, like after nobody around, like. But like, yeah, me, I gotta break it up though. I gotta break it up.
Yeah,
There's
it's
place and
wood.
time for everything.
I would say
I'm letting them rumble, bro.
I would say
Place
Reef
and
and
time for
Will, but
everything.
I only say Reef and Will because like there's this one time we were at Bono's, and you weren't there, Miles, but like I was talking. Who was I talking to? I was talking to some girl. I don't remember who, and like she pulled up like mean as fuck, and you guys were outside waiting for the pizzas, right?
yeah.
And like I don't know what they saw from outside. I was actually just having like she was my friend, and they all pulled up and I was like, "Yo, Sasha, you good?" From that moment, I was like, "Yo, if I have any trouble, Reef and Will."
Nah, for sure. I'm always there. For sure.
So who would y'all say goes the hardest at practice?
Hardest.
Matty B.
Matt,
I gotta give
Matt.
it to
I
Matty
would never
B.
say it's
Matt.
Matt.
He always
Yeah.
bring the energy.
Matt
He
is a
gonna lock you
dog.
up, and like you may not see it, but like yo, I'm telling y'all now, Matt done crossed me. He done made people fall at practice.
Yo,
Matt is a great
he's been
player.
doing crazy
like,
things
yo,
in practice.
He really done sauced me
Yo.
in practice. Like he go hard all the time. Like he really he nice. I ain't going for it.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
giving him his flowers. Like yo, I'm
I
giving
give
you
it
his
to him.
flowers. Like,
He has a high motor.
He deserves it.
That kid does not get tired, bro.
Nah, he's
Oh.
he's a crackhead. He's a
He's
crackhead.
super, yeah, like I think what makes it look like he's going so hard is like his movements. Like he just run, like the way he runs is like he's just gliding across the court.
Yeah.
And I think like it's almost like an awkward kind of like rhythm that he plays basketball with that makes him a good player. Like,
Yeah.
But it's fun to watch him.
Like
It's
Matt will
fun
be
to
a
watch.
really good player next year. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like that's snap.
And
It's
you-
just because like you can't really, you don't know like his moves are offbeat. I'd say that.
And they're talking about Bradshaw, Matt Bradshaw.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bradshaw. Yep.
Matt Conehead Bradshaw.
on head.
Some guys definitely get more playing time than other guys. A lot of, like, you see jokes like, a certain player or coach got the most claps per minute. We talk about, stats that don't get counted. Who would you say is the best team cheerleader?
Levi Delaney. But that's
I wouldn't
not
call
a
him
shot.
cheerleader.
That's not a
Like,
shot.
yeah.
Yeah. That's not a shot. I just think like
He's
he's someone that
Yeah,
Yeah.
support, like, he
he's locked
supports.
into
He
his
locked
role.
in.
Like,
Yeah.
like we need like I mean
Him and
just
Ferris.
over the
Yeah,
last
I
couple
was
of days
about
like
to
I've
say.
been watching all like the film and
He's
stuff like
always-
that from all the
yo.
games and like you can always see Levi like locked into the game and I think it's because like all the other guys on our team are like they're expecting to get in like they might be beefing with this guy because they're not getting in they're upset that they're not playing but Levi kind of knows what what his role was this year on our team so he's just out there cheering for us every single game.
Nah,
He's young, but he's a mature guy.
he's mad mature.
Levi and Ferris. Levi and Ferris.
Levi is the best teammate you can ever have.
Yeah,
sure.
the
Good
best
teammate. Good, great
Ferris as well. Shout out Ferris.
Fair, yeah. Who would you say is most likely to get you some extra laps at practice, some extra running time?
Bro, Kush.
Kush,
I'm Kush, my loser.
Reef.
Reef,
Reef, yeah.
Kev.
Yep.
I could go down the line. Sasha. 'Cause Sasha,
wait, nah.
Sasha gonna sit there and
Oh,
stare
Josh,
at me
we
and
can't
make me
forget about
laugh.
Josh.
Wait, how is it
Yeah,
me?
Just-
Nah, you're
Just-
bugging.
yeah.
You're
Because
bugging.
you
I'll make people run.
No, like you going we be serious. You
Yeah.
gonna look at me like
Oh,
say
yeah.
coach yelling at me. He's behind coach like wow. I'm like yo. Now I'm trying not to laugh. He's like, oh, you think it's funny? get on the line.
Number one, Reef. I can't lie.
Yeah.
But that's just like Reef just being
Because he
real.
talks-
Like, he just speak his mind, bro. Like everything we're thinking, like he's just gonna say. You feel me?
I take the full
So-
for it. Yeah, Coach Blaine knows that too.
Yeah.
He knows that.
Yeah.
I take it.
But like when Reef does it, like actually nobody's annoyed at him. Like literally
Nah, 'cause
nobody's
he's saying
annoyed.
what
Yeah.
everybody's thinking. So like,
He's not like I'm not gonna like when Kush does that. Like kind of
Everybody be hot at Kush. I'm not. gonna lie.
I love Kush. Like he's my bro and shit. But
he's a
yeah,
kid.
yeah, he's a kid. But like when Reef did it, like I was all right. Like
Yeah.
So who would you say from the team most likely to go on to play in some kind of overseas league, some kind of professional league, any kind of professional level, or who is the most likely to become a coach after playing?
Yeah, I feel like all the seniors. Like I can see them coaching and playing.
Yeah, I was
Yep.
about to say everybody here.
I agree.
Yeah.
I say everybody. Like we have a lot of guys, bro. That like I feel like at most Division III schools, you probably don't find that many guys that even have the passion to continue to keep playing after college. So I feel like on our team, we got a lot of guys that want to continue to keep playing and that have the talent to. So I say everybody.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, in terms of coaching though, I feel like Frank would be a good coach. I could see Reef coaching.
Reef top 10.
Yeah, Reef would be.
He
yeah,
used to be practicing like, yo, when I'm a coach, this one would tell my guys all the time.
high hands. High
Reef
hands.
coaching. Kev, I think Kev mentioned that he wanted to coach. Myself, I would love to coach. I think I'd be
You'll be a
good
great coach.
Yeah.
You'll be a great coach.
Who's most likely to get you guys in some trouble when you're out, on a weekend?
Well, not me. I'm not first on this list.
I'm not first, but I'm not last. Like
I feel like
it depends. It depends the moment.
Wait, are we counting? Like, is it just between us four?
Anybody on the whole
Anybody on the
team?
team.
I'm trying to.
George, Rito,
Oh yeah.
George. Come on, it has to be George. It has to be George.
Now I'm trying to think of cause we really not.
We actually don't get in trouble though.
Yeah,
Like,
we don't
don't-
get in trouble.
We're
Like,
pretty chill about it.
And then we help each other on top of that. Like
We do.
Like if somebody get in trouble, we make sure like, yo, let's not go down this route. Cause
Actually, I didn't put George. I wouldn't even put George. Like nobody actually gets in trouble.
yeah, like we don't be wild.
Yeah, I was not first on this list. Not this one.
I know, like me personally, I could get myself in a lot of trouble some nights, but like I got the guys like to really like help me out. Like
Nah, that's one thing I would say. Like, I don't think nobody on the team will give trouble outside. Like, probably within, but outside, nah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So you got to leave for the weekend. You don't want to hire a house sitter. Who do you least trust to watch your house for the weekend?
Kush.
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 Yeah, Kush.
It's not gonna be the same crib.
No.
Nah.
You might throw a
Actually,
party in that joint,
He
buy
gonna
some
throw a
joints
party in
over.
there. Like
Who else? Nah, I think it's one more guy.
I'm trying to think.
Yo, who would I not leave?
Nah, Kush number one.
Yeah, Kush.
Yeah, like that's the
look,
only one I see. Like everybody
Yeah,
else,
that's
like
Everybody.
Anything negative,
fine, Mike.
you're gonna think about Kush, but not because he's a bad
I don't think
person.
he's
Not because he's a
he
bad
might
person.
hotbox that.
Just because it's like
He might do that.
he's kind of like he's just got 18. Like he's not mature. So
Right.
that's
Yeah.
why.
Right. Who's the best 2K player on the team?
It's okay.
Probably one of the younger guys.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't know.
play
I haven't
2K.
played guys on the team.
I would say Levi. Levi's
Levi's really
Levi's.
good. I play him
I
all
think
the
I
time.
was.
He's
I ain't gonna
Justin's
lie,
nice too.
Cook.
Justin's his fiend.
Right.
No, yo, Matty B, like he really raw in 2K too. I'm not.
Oh,
Gonna
he's
lie.
nice. As,
Yeah.
There's a couple of people I haven't played. But I'm not even nice.
I feel like the younger
don't
you
play
are,
2K.
you're probably better at 2K just because, like,
Yeah.
you're used to, like, they know all the moves, bro, all the dribble combos, packages, like, they know all that stuff.
You got to bring one player back to your house. Meet your parents. Kind of your mom's like, you got to show me around. Meet some members of the team. Who would you first bring to have some manners on the
Yeah.
table?
My boy Layden. Shout out Layden. That's a very
Respectful, young man.
respectful young man. Has
He
manners.
is.
For a fact. He looks like a savage though.
Yeah, nah.
But he's a
Layden, Frank, or Sasha, like those are my
Frank,
top
too.
three. Yeah, Frank.
Frank.
Frank a good dude.
Yeah, I would say Frank, because he's like, yes, sir, no, sir. Like, he's
He's
a
chill.
good kid, for real.
He's chill too.
Yeah. Nah, there's a couple of guys. Frank, Layden.
I feel like everybody. Like I would bring
Truthfully,
anybody,
Nah.
bro.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't you? Who
Layden,
wouldn't?
Frank.
Later.
Layden,
Who would? Okay, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't you? Who wouldn't you?
No, it's not like You feel me?
Maybe Kush, but that's it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't Kush, maybe. Nah, I
I
actually
think
would.
Kush, like,
He's
when
actually
he's
with grown-
around adults, he's,
Yeah, he's-
normal. But
Nah,
when he's
yeah.
around his
No,
peers,
I'm not
it's
gonna
different.
lie. Like even around adults, he's not normal. Like he's him. Like
Yeah.
there's no off button. Like you know how us we got like a
That's why I love
professional
him.
button.
Right.
We got like we could structure up. It's none of that with him. No filter. He gonna say whatever comes.
But that's why I love
it,
it, bro, because
like,
he's always him. Like, he
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
change. Like,
why,
he's a
yo,
real
yeah.
one. Like,
Nah, that's a
he's
fact.
real.
he true to
Like,
himself, yo.
It's
Kush
true
is
to
true to
himself.
himself.
That's a
Yeah.
fact.
Thank you for watching the first episode of House of Cards. Again, this has been Colin Bulbrook.
Kai Bruce.
Sasha Drini.
Thank you for watching, and tune in for the rest of the semester for some more episodes from House of Cards.